He would slow the progress of anyone who does listen to him. So that's why he is a retardant.
Why are they going broke? You have to show that they have some appreciable losses, and you can't show that. Because go woke, go broke is not a thing. That's the point, and it's going over your heads. Oh, why is he showing me things that are woke that aren't going broke? Why is he doing that? That's stupid.
Google turned evil, turned towards the ideology, and it has all these idiots running after it and cheering for it. Because that's how a cult works. Apple was already a cult.
Oh, so okay, now they're doing well because they're a cult. Let's explore that for a sec. Wouldn't like a woke movie or video game appeal to that same cult? Like the woke cult, not the Apple cult, the woke cult. So that means that the woke cult would then spend money on that thing because it's a cult, right? So that would necessarily mean that nothing should ever go broke because there's always going to be that cult. You know, the woke cult should buy the thing. Your arguments are incongruous here, and you're scrambling. And I love this. He's scrambling because I got him. They're going off on complete and utter tangents about other things that are not the focus of this video. Got him.
That's what you've been doing for an hour and 32 minutes and 57 seconds. Minus maybe 11 minutes of actually talking about issues. But most of those, you've been constructing straw men instead of engaging with the actual arguments that they're making in good faith. It's weird.
Needless to say, there are countless.
You could mention no mention. You make no mention of.
What's really funny about this, like reacting to my avatar, look, nigga, dude, there's a Spider-Man right there. Like, what are we talking about? What is this?
The companies that did go broke because of the woke products they made.
Yeah. No. You have to demonstrate it was the wokeness that caused them to go broke. I showed evidence. Where's yours? I provided a study that showed things that have woke elements, so-called woke elements, 16% in the long term, 3% in the short term.
That's one study. I wouldn't consider that very strong evidence. Especially considering you don't know where they got those numbers or if those numbers are accurate. But like most of your ilk, if you read it and it supports your fucking hypothesis, then you just fucking, or your ideology, then you just cling to it with such desperation.
Where's yours? That showed it going down. The way you look at the thing is you go, okay, this thing failed. Okay.
We can look at the content, and we can look at the how would you describe it? The things in media that are objective, like some of writing is quite objective, and when you see that woke stuff is just being crammed in at the detriment of plot and story and structure, at the detriment of character, then you know that that's not going to be beneficial for that media moving forward. It doesn't take waiting for the sales to come in.
Okay, it failed because there were woke elements in it. Instead of like actually looking at what, like the evidence for it, like the reason why a thing failed. You go, oh, well, it had a woke element, that must be why. That's like me looking at the same game and going, oh, there's a tree in the game. That means that's why the game failed. That would be just as fucking stupid. This is the causation correlation dichotomy.
Make your New Year's resolution to kickstart your education. Want to be in the tech industry? Train for a career in cybersecurity by taking...
You don't have actual evidence. That's the reason why a game failed. You guys bring up Concord so often. Great. Why don't other woke games fail? What's the reason? Because it seems to me your argument for Apple was that, oh, well, they're a big company, they're overpriced, so fantastic. That means that the reason The Last of Us Part 2 didn't fail was that they had the cachet. So a game like Concord failed because they didn't have the cachet. You have to eliminate the common denominator to find the thing that is the reason why something failed or succeeded. That's how this works. I can tell you guys did not do well in science or math class. That is...
Are you sure you don't mean science or math school? Like English school? I would shut your mouth.
Blatantly obvious to me.
Yeah. But when it woke Star Wars dies. You make woke Mass Effect, Mass Effect dies.
Talk about the
you make woke. Yeah. But you make woke Star Wars dies. You make
woke Star Wars dies. Are we talking about like the movies? Because each one of the Rey movies made at least $1 billion. First one made $2 billion. Second one.
Does that mean that it's good? Oh no, he's still arguing on the that they're not going broke. Yeah, but I think all the good faith in Star Wars is gone now. Similarly to the MCU. They are struggling to make their money back. And when you spend $700 million making a movie and promoting it and distributing it, and you only make $1 billion, not the best use of your money. Just saying. And what he was saying previously about Concord, he would say, oh, well, they weren't successful because they didn't have the cachet. But in reality, they didn't have the cachet of a game that came before that was universally loved and praised, and they put a bunch of woke shit in there. Now, if they hadn't put a bunch of woke shit in there and had made a great game, then they wouldn't need the cachet to stand out and to be successful. But because they crammed the woke shit in there, from my understanding, I haven't watched Concord, so I don't fucking know, or played it, but if that's what they're saying, they did that without making a good game first, and that'll get people to turn on you. So, Tia, what a Tia.
One made like 1.5, third made like 1 point something. I forget the numbers off the top of my head, but I've seen these numbers so many times. And what they'll do is, in response to that, they'll go, well, each subsequent movie made less than the previous one. Well, I mean, again, there are many different reasons why one movie would make more money than another movie. You can't just automatically go, oh, look, that's not scientific. It's.
But if you're going to use money that's made as a standard for telling that it's a good film or not, and each one made less than the previous, that would then follow that it means that they got worse in your own estimation. If them making over $1 billion means that they're good, then it's based on the dollar amount, which means if they make less and less each time, they're getting worse and worse. The incongruencies.
It's anti-intellectual. Okay, you have to actually study it and actually provide the examples and provide the evidence for why something failed. And again, each one of those movies made $1 billion. Each actually Star Wars movie where a woman is the main protagonist has made $1 billion. Each one of them, every single one. There are 4, if I'm not mistaken. Rogue One, $1 billion. Episodes 7 through 9, each made $1 billion. The one where it starred a man, Solo, failed at the box office. Now, I'm not saying the movies failed because of men. I wouldn't say that, because that.
Solo came out right after The Last Jedi. I'm pretty sure that's what kind of killed it for people and killed it for Solo. None of the other movies had to come out after The Last Jedi. Not directly after.
That would be stupid, right?
I'm getting back on track with Factor. Fresh, never frozen meals that are ready in minutes.
Factor is over 4.
But, he also brings up Mass Effect, which the thing about BioWare games is they've always been inclusive and, woke, quote unquote woke. So they've always done well. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time. And you can have a lesbian relationship. You can have a gay relationship in those games. You can make a character look however you want. And, what's the game called? The Veil Guard, Dragon Age. That game follows BioWare's long history of being, quote unquote woke and inclusive, whatever you guys want to call it. And y'all say that, well, that game failed because woke. But it's like their games have always been like that. They're just doing the same thing that they've always done.
But you notice you didn't say BioShock. You didn't say... You didn't say Mass Effect 1. So it's not that they always were doing that. You're saying always a little too much. And only the Sith, well, typically it's the Sith that deal in absolutes.
And I haven't played the Veil Guard. It's not really to my taste. I'm not huge on fantasy games like that. So I don't know the exact reason for the game's perceived failure. But what I can say is that it's a BioWare game, guys. Like, they've been doing that.
Make woke Mass Effect dies.
Talk about the AI influence in the past.
No, see, he just, that's what I'm saying. He's equating wokeness to being the reason why something fails. And it's a perfect example with Mass Effect, right? Mass Effect 3 had a bad audience reaction because of the endings. It had nothing to do with the fact that the game was woke. Because all 3 games were woke. Now, Andromeda, I don't even remember what happened with Andromeda. Like, did it fail? Was it positively received? I don't remember. But Andromeda was something that came out after 3 where people were upset with the ending and how 3 ended. You know, you had 3 colors. You had red, green, blue. So that was why people disliked 3, even though the game was phenomenal. It's a great fucking game. The best combat in any Mass Effect game, period. Well, maybe not, you know, Andromeda's probably better, but this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly my point. He does not actually look into why something was maligned by an audience. Because if he did, he would come away with, well, Mass Effect failed because or Mass Effect 3 had a bad audience.
You literally just said you don't know.
Reaction because of the endings. I was there, so I know that for a fact. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy's just a clown. And the comments, man, I love the chat right now. Blanca deserves more respect. Motherfucker, do you know who I am? You're looking at the #1 Blanca player on PlayStation.
Sounds like Billy Carson to me. You're looking at the #1. No, Blanca does deserve more respect. Somebody with integrity.
In the world. Me. Look up the rankings for Street Fighter 4. Me. #1. Now, currently, it says #2. Let's look at
Street Fighter 4? How long ago was that? And I doubt it anyway.
real fast. I want to show you all. All right,
Probably
so here you go.
somebody.
In the rankings, if I go to
Probably pay somebody
one
to
of
play
the
his fucking games for.
would you look at that? Look who is at the top. Now, you'll see that this Japanese guy is in first place, and I'm in second place. And this is the world, by the way. So you can see it's not just American flags, it's all flags. And this guy that's #1 boosted to get past me. So this is not a real ranking. I'm actually #1 in the world, and I had been #1 in the world.
Which tells me that he's been boosting to get himself up there. Whatever the fuck that means. But if people can just buy their way up there, I'm sure that's exactly what he's done. Otherwise, he wouldn't know what that even is.
For like 7 straight years. You can actually find people uploading videos of me on YouTube because they beat me. And obviously they're not going to upload me beating them. So it's a big deal when you beat the #1 guy. I am a Street Fighter player. My main is Blanca. Like when you click on me, you can see. I don't know, why does that say main character Dalsim? That's just so wrong. But like I've been playing with Dalsim, the network battles, but like not ranked. So for some reason, I guess I've been playing with Dalsim more, so they have him as my main character, but obviously not. He's not my main character. Anyway, my main character is Blanca, and I play with Blanca. I've been playing with Blanca since like 1992. And that's why my avatar is Blanca, is because I'm a Street Fighter player. This is what I was known for. I was a part of a fighting game clan for the longest. I was our resident Blanca player. And you know, when I started uploading videos on YouTube, I didn't have an avatar. So I was like, hey, I'm a Blanca player. Let me just, use Blanca's visage. And that's why Blanca is my avatar. So for you to sit here and suggest that Blanca deserves more respect, well, you're looking at the respect, motherfucker. I am Blanca, nigga. I am the guy. That's
Doesn't look like it. Looks like you are #2. By a long shot.
me. Anybody want to see me in this game? Step up. Anyway.
Let's just go.
Who the fuck still has Street Fighter 4? I think more people play Street Fighter 2 than play Street Fighter 4. That was a short list too. But who knows?
He's adopting progressive policies, and the term minority that espouse this mantra have no.
I guess it's just somebody who has a almost pathological or habitual habit of fucking lying or being disingenuous or whatever. It's hard to just believe anything he says.
No idea what they're talking about. But you're probably thinking, well, those aren't movies. What about movies? Now,
Thank you.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Crazy Rich Asians, one of the few major Hollywood films with an all-Asian cast, budget of $30 million, grossed $238 million. Get Out, a film focused exclusively on how white people use black people for their own aims, budget of $4.5 million, grossed $255 million.
Has these so this is your problem.
I love it. We got him.
These films, do they have good stories? Are they well acted? That's what makes a good movie.
Ooh, I love that. You finally said something correct.
Hey guys, did you know some drivers are ditching their car insurance and they're doing this instead?
Holy shit. We got it.
Exactly. That's why they don't like the woke shit in the media, because typically it comes at the cost of good storytelling, good writing, good characters, good acting, and a good plot.
I clap it up for this motherfucker. Like, where's my applause? Good job, you racist piece of shit. It's almost like there are other reasons why movies do well or fail. Exactly my point. I don't even want to let him talk anymore. Like, that's it. I'm gonna let you live on that and that alone. Let's skip past this shit and get back to my video. Because, thank you. That's exactly my fucking point. Shit. Animated film with themes about prejudice, stereotypes, and inclusion. Budget of $150 million, $1 billion. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. They don't like the examples because it proves the wrong. I love this. This is one of the main reasons why I like watching people's reactions to my work, because I always prove my point. And I love seeing them have to scramble to bullshit their work. I love it. This is why I love making videos. Like videos like these.
How exactly was Zootopia woke? It's about animals. This bird is leaking all over himself.
People always go, Birdman, you got to debate, you got to blah, blah. But the problem with debate is that you see how the way that they talk and they go off on tangents, and it's hard to get a point across, and it's hard to make the point. This is why I make the video, because I can make my points. And they have to scramble.
Because you can edit things down to make their points look ridiculous so that it's easier for you to straw man them and debate against arguments that they never made. That's why you don't want to do a debate. Because it would be live and everybody would see who you are.
Oh, I love it. I love it. This is great. This is good. I feel so vindicated.
Oh, you mean the one where the Jews secretly control society? That was fun.
Not an argument. You have not refuted that this movie was woke and it made $1 billion.
Control everything.
I saw bits and pieces of it, but that was like with my cousins. They were watching it.
And you know, I skipped past a little bit because earlier they said the movies that I showed, they hadn't seen these movies. I wonder if someone made the point that you guys actually don't.
I doubt you've seen the movie. You were just looking for things to prove your point, or at least things that you thought would prove your point. Either you're watching movies all the time, or you're trying to act, but not both.
Like watch movies. I wonder who made that point. But you talk about these things like you know what you're talking about. And I love it. I love this. I love that you guys just admit you haven't even seen these things. I love it. Somehow you're trying to refute me though, but you haven't seen it. Amazing. Oh, so good.
Yeah, but I don't think he gets the issue with this movie. Because guess what? You have different city quarters for different animals. Because
a lot of white supremacists do this, that, when you have a homogenous society, society is better.
Well, they don't really, it doesn't really make sense to have them all in the same place.
Exactly my point. He's doing the thing where white supremacists go, well, yeah, the racists need to be separate from each other. That's the thing that they do. So let's.
But that's the argument you made against them using black words, quote unquote, that you didn't want to hear a German speaking English or having an opinion on something outside of their culture. So that sounds to me like you want peoples to be segregated. And by your logic that you're using right now, that means that you're a racist piece of shit. If you're saying that him wanting a segregated society means that he's a racist piece of shit, then it has to mean the same for you. You're just too slow to realize that that's the point that you've made because you've been so emotional you haven't been able to keep track of the things that you've said. And then when you edited all this together, you still weren't smart enough to see the problems, the rakes that you'd laid out for yourself.
Skip his nonsensical white supremacist Mein Kampf bullshit and get to the rest of the video. Fuck's sake. Of Animals also features a character that is gender swapped and a character that is race swapped. What's the
character is gender swapped?
The character that is gender swapped is Cosmo the dog. It's a she in the MCU. It's male in the comics.
I don't know.
They don't know because they don't know what they're talking about. Of Animals also features a character that is gender swapped and a character. Let's go. Well, yeah, the races need to be separate from each other. That's the thing that they do. So let's skip his nonsensical white supremacist Mein Kampf bullshit and get to the rest of the video. Fuck's sake. Of Animals also features a character that is gender swapped and a character that is race swapped. What's the
Wait,
argument?
the character is gender swapped?
The character that is gender swapped is Cosmo the dog. It's a she.
That is a dog.
In the MCU, it's male in the comics.
I don't know.
They don't know because they don't know what they're talking about.
I forgot. Is there something like that? I don't know. I never watched it.
You never watch one of the biggest movies of the year. This is what I'm talking about. They don't watch movies. Why are these the people that come after a person like me who actually watches these things? That's what I said earlier. Y'all don't watch movies.
You've had a chance now in 3 months to go back and watch these things.
Get down. Don't stretch your back.
Or read the cliff notes. There's a reason why it took you 3 months to reply to this since you're so agitated by it. And it's not because you're busy doing voice acting or acting in general. We know that.
I did watch it, but I remember very little about it. And the animal thing was stupid.
The animal thing was stupid? Oh, he's talking about he's talking about the otter and the walrus. Like, dude, those are characters from the comics. You're watching a comic book movie and suggesting that they're stupid. It doesn't make sense. Like, that's like saying, Batman wearing a suit, a cowl, and jumping from rooftops. That's stupid. It's like, that's what's in the books, though. Like, if you're going to make a Batman movie, you have to depict that. You're making a Rocket Raccoon movie. Those characters are from his books. Let me show you them. Here you go. Right here. This is Lady Lila. This is the character that appears in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. You see right here, she debuted in The Incredible Hulk number 271, February 1982.
Therapy has always been such a scary idea to me because I simply did not know where to get started. I didn't know how to find my person.
I'm willing to bet this is either close to the people to their age or older than their age. That's the point, guy. It's a woke ideology thing in the film, in The High Evolutionary. Then you had Cosmo. She is a trifecta. What's the problem? Why woke, but it's good. Anything else could be good. Dislikes the woke thing in the movie. But that's exactly my point, dude, is that there was something woke, but it didn't fail. And you just proved it. Yeah.
It already has this reputation that people will go see it anyways. I think that's kind of...
Oh, so something has a big reputation. That must mean that they're going to see it anyway. Oh, fantastic. What a great argument. Then you're going to have to explain things like Dragon Age, The Veilguard, right? That's the thing you guys said was woke. And according to y'all, it failed. But, it has a history of games that people really like. You see how none of your arguments actually work? They don't map onto reality? This idea that, the movie made a lot of money because, it has a history and people...
He can't stay coherent in any way, shape, or form. It's eating him alive to keep up this fucking false dichotomy.
To go see it, there are other things that are good. Like, the other movies are woke too. I can name so many woke things in the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy is like the most diverse group in the MCU right now. They have a fucking sentient tree on the team.
And that has nothing to do with progressive politics. That has nothing to do with it. Let me just back.
First group in the MCU.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the progressive politics. I don't understand how it would be woke. If it was woke, Gamora would be the leader of the team.
Right now, they have a fucking sentient tree on the team. They're literal aliens on the team. Like, what?
Which has nothing to do with progressive politics in the world today. How is that woke to you? How does that even compare with your black Ebonic slang, meaning that woke means aware of social injustices because there's aliens on the team? I think he might have smoked some crack.
Anyway, and another stupid comment. Smudboy, he's a big PETA guy. Holy fucking shit, these guys are so stupid. These guys are so dumb. I made a joke about the critical drinker going after PETA. It was like random. He just randomly went after PETA. And I was like, this guy is even going after PETA. And that was enough for the realist metal to suggest I'm a big PETA guy. I don't give a flying fuck about PETA. These people are like, this is what happens in these echo chambers. Like, this type of shit will get repeated over and over until it becomes reality.
You made a joke that he's even going against PETA. PETA is a evil, demonic fucking organization. Find out how many freezers they have and start to ask a few questions about why they have them. That's the point. You're talking some shit, making jokes about shit you don't know nothing about. And then you're mad when people call you out about it. Where they do that at? Birdman Land? Oh, La La Land. Right. Where the realest of the real are, or the most superficial are.
Reality for them, but it's a clear fiction. I was making fun of the Joker, or the drinker, for randomly going at PETA because apparently this seems to be a woke thing for them. PETA's woke, right? So he went at, that's what I'm talking about. Like, this motherfucker will even go after PETA in his grift. I give a fuck about PETA. Couldn't care less. I just thought it was funny that he went after PETA for, like, just random. It was random. That's what I said. That's all I said. But I'm a big PETA guy. Like, Jesus Christ, the shit that these people just make up is insane to me.
Oh, one of these. See, this is what I think is just a modern version of exploitation.
If they had an Olympics event that was called mental gymnastics, I mean, you're not a winner, so there's no way you'd be in the final three, but you'd be competing. That's for sure.
But they focus so much on the side character in history that had.
That's what I'm talking about. I said that earlier, that these people view black people and like other minority groups as just pawns on a chessboard that's, you know, against them, in a game that's against them. This is the problem. This is one sort of, because without science, you ain't going nowhere. Science is the basis of everything that we do. These women were the scientists and mathematicians that helped us get to the moon. But they're side characters? Side characters? Well, guess what then? That is probably why there's a movie made about them.
We didn't go to the moon, so stop worshiping those fucking people, because guess what? None of their math helped. NASA themselves said they ain't been through the Van Allen radiation belt, and you'd have to go through it twice to get to the moon and back. They're full of shit, just like you.
Because they were hidden. Yeah, this was during a time where racism was really rampant, and there was Jim Crow laws and, you know, segregation. And yet and still, these people helped send man.
Because black people were doing better during Jim Crow than they have since the 60s, you fucking piece of shit.
To the moon. That seems like a story worth telling, don't it? I mean, how many fucking movies can you make about Buzz Aldrin? How many can you make? What about the people that helped get him there? Are they not important? Side characters. That's how you view these people. You are like beyond a piece of shit. You're not even a piece of shit anymore. You're diarrhea.
Do we even need to explain this one?
Yes, of course, because Barbie was an anomaly. People watched it for Ryan Gosling, and Barbie was such a great is the wrong word, but it completely did the opposite of what it wanted to achieve.
Scrambled eggs. You are so scrambled right now, it's not even funny. They ignore all the evidence that disproves their bullshit. Just ignoring it. Get Out, I didn't even see that one, so I can't come up with a bullshit explanation for why that made money. People went to, I had the double feature. I went to see you. The amount of people weren't taking photos, I would love to show y'all. I live in Los Angeles, so, you know, we have, you know, some of the biggest theaters here. The line outside of my theater was around the door, women dressed up to the nine. Be a good fucking movie. And he's trying to, I'm pretty sure that was like nothing to do with why people went to go see it. People went to go see it, and then they came away with, oh, it's good. Explain Blade Runner 2049. People went to go see this, you know, very popular actress. In skip woman, it's like $1 billion. Wonder Woman, a film about the feminist icon with themes of female empowerment. Budget of one.
Have you read the early Wonder Woman? Probably didn't. Where she constantly gets roped up and spanked, put over the knee, and it's great. Well, wonderful feminist icon. His definitions and criteria for why a film is woke are completely.
And that's man.
Pick and choose and on.
Yeah, his definition of woke is it's amorphous. It's ubiquitous. It's whatever he feels like saying is woke. Anything that he can try to say is woke in some way, shape, or form. If it was successful, if it serves his argument, then he'll use it. Otherwise, no.
Everything that succeeded is mine.
Oh, I love that. That's man. Another round of applause for the dipshit. Your guys' definition for the word woke is arbitrary and is incredibly broad, right? How does he not realize?
You're the one using these as examples of woke movies, so that's what they're judging it on. And since you're not laying down a cohesive definition for the word, like, what the fuck are they supposed to do? It is arbitrary. For you.
He's debunking their own argument. I love that. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, phenomenal work. Good job, idiot. Black Panther and its sequel. I think you get the point. If Go Woke,
no. Oh, you mean the movies that pandered to the not so smart black socialist suburban demographic of the United States?
The not so smart socialist urban demographic of the United States.
Yeah, because if you're a socialist, then you're not so smart. You can't look at history.
Here's what they think of you. Here's what they think of you. Somebody did this to me in the comment section. They said, why didn't you post the amount of money the Black Panther movies made? And I was taken aback. I'm like, I said they made all the money, like on the screen. I didn't understand like what they were trying to say. And like they came across like they didn't make a lot. What's the problem with the way that I did it? The guy in this video is doing the same thing. He said, no, $800 million, almost $1 billion. The first movie made just about 2 billion. Black Panther, the first one made 1.3, 2.1. Like, do we hear what the Hitler rendering to that particular demographic? Well, isn't that the whole argument? Then I don't realize it. But I really want to know what
Black urban Americans that cheered for the alleged portrayed African Americans in Wakanda doing.
No. This fucking, the Hitler Youth, Jesus. All right, look, so very quickly, the first movie is about how you wouldn't know being a fucking German. Black Africans have this. The first movie is about how Black Americans and Black Africans have this schism. Okay, and this is real life. This is something you wouldn't know being a fucking German Hitler Youth. Black Americans are originally from Africa. We're from West Africa, the vast majority of us. Some of us are a little bit from.
No, we're not.
You know, some of East Africa, some of Central Africa as well. But the majority of us here, our ancestors are from West Africa.
No, that's where we fled into. We fled into West Africa to escape the Roman Empire. And then those Western African nations sold us into slavery, which was the custom of the time. You bum.
Once Black Americans were brought over, they developed their own culture. This is where the word woke comes from. It's from that culture. Because there's been 400 years of this, their roots have been lost. So Black Americans are now a part of the American fabric. My point is, these groups are different from each other. Even now, you can see this. If you go on Twitter, you go on Black Twitter, you will see this sometimes.
Yes, we are completely different tribes. The movie Black Panther had nothing to do with that. Shut your mouth.
Black Americans are fighting with Black Africans because of the culture differences. And I'm not going to get into that whole thing because I really don't care about it. I love all Black people. But the point is, there's a schism.
And seemingly only Black people.
So the film is representing that schism. So in Wakanda, they're a very insular sort of technological marvel. They don't have outreach programs, and they just kind of take care of their own. Black Americans, on the other hand, had to go through slavery while Wakanda was prosperous. This is where the character of Killmonger comes in. Killmonger goes, well, where the fuck were y'all when they abducted us and they put us through all those horrors?
Well, it's a different tribe, my guy. We sold y'all. Shit.
What did y'all do? Y'all didn't take care of us. And he was right. Killmonger was right. Now, Killmonger turned out to be a villain. He went about his goals and villainous ways, but he had a point. He's like a sympathetic villain. It's a very common trope in fiction.
Yeah, he was so sympathetic that he wanted to use the Wakandan technology to murder everyone that wouldn't agree with him to rule the world, including women and children. Very sympathetic. Remember that.
The hero of the film, Black Panther, T'Challa, realized that Killmonger was right. He had a point. Why didn't we do anything? We needed to take care of those people when we had the ability to do so. That was the point of that film. And they had the fight at the end because, again, Killmonger, he's sympathetic but he's villainous. So,
in real life, only about 8% of slaves were brought over from West Africa on slave ships. The rest of us were already here, so that's already a stupid point. But regardless, the people in Africa didn't have guns yet. So when Europeans rolled up with fucking guns and were like, hey, we'll give you a bunch of money for some slaves, blah, 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 blah. They did what everyone does, even in Africa to this day. They still have a slavery program. They said, okay, cool, we'll sell them to you. Why would they then want to come to America and start a war with people that they are technologically less advanced than? Are you stupid? In real life. And the Africans in Wakanda, they're isolated. Why would they come out and risk? Especially when we don't know the history. We don't know if they would have been secure from a nuclear fucking bomb. Which I'm assuming exists in the fictional reality of the MCU. even though they don't really.
I got to defeat the villain. That was the point of the first movie. Now, you didn't know any of that, Hitler Youth, because you're a piece of shit that looks at black movies.
I guess you'd think that it makes you superior to call someone a Hitler Youth, even though when you're calling them that just based on the color of their skin, it kind of undercuts your whole point, doesn't it? But I wouldn't expect a failed actor to understand that.
These as, oh, that's just woke trash. You didn't get any of that. And that's why, the story didn't connect with you. Whatever. I'd be surprised if you even saw the fucking film.
Monkey dances and monkey noises.
It just the blatant racism. I wonder if this video is going to get, my video, going to get yellow dollar signs. Probably going to get demonetized for this, because like, holy fuck, he just said that black people are doing monkey noises and monkey, like come on, bruv. Like, Hitler Youth.
In the movie.
Skip. We're not even going to listen to him anymore. Many more. Usually.
In the movie Black Panther, they do in fact make monkey noises. The guy from the Northern Tribe does when he comes in to interrupt something. So why would you lie and pretend it's not in the movie and then try to say that he's a Hitler Youth or racist because he remembered what he saw in the Black Panther movie? It's almost like you're bad faith, disingenuous hack.
The response to this is to name the same small handful of films that are exceptions to the rule, like Ghostbusters, Charlie's Angels, and The Marvels. Straight.
They're not the exceptions to the rule, they are the rule.
They are the exceptions to the rule. Shut the fuck up, Hitler Youth. These movies only to constantly bring up the few that bombed, unaware of what.
The few?
Yeah.
Marvel?
The many. The few. Did he say Marvel? Bruv. Like, the vast majority of Marvel movies make money. The vast.
I don't care if they make money. The vast majority of them were good until Endgame. I'd say Endgame, Captain Marvel, Thor 2, and what? Maybe the first Incredible Hulk people put in there. I don't. But 3 or 4 movies out of like 20 were bad movies. I don't care if they were successful or not. Since Endgame, 90% of the movies that they've released have been trash. And that's probably being generous. And that's why each one that comes out has been less and less successful, unless there's something special about the build up to it.
Majority. The Marvels was the first flop. The first. Number 1. They haven't had any subsequently, and there's been a couple movies that came out after the Marvels. Hold on, what movies came out after the Marvels? I can't remember off the top of my head. So, Marvel Phase 5. All right.
Do you think you have what it takes to make like it never even happened happen? Then you belong at the #1 brand.
All right, so Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That was not a flop. It didn't make a lot of money, but none of the Ant-Man movies do. Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously, we just showed that made almost.
But Ant-Man was trash as fuck. So was the Marvels. So was Deadpool and Wolverine. So is Captain America Brave World. I guarantee you it will be. So, okay, good luck with that.
$1 billion, Marvel's flop. Deadpool Wolverine, not a flop. Made over $1 billion.
It looks like... What's he saying here? So Ant-Man, again, I don't care about flop because he's going off of box office. And then he's only going off of production costs. It doesn't seem like he's including the cost to promote or the cost to distribute. Which seems like something that an actor who lives in LA, who's a voice actor, and who's so fucking good in this industry would be aware of that and keep that in contact or bring that up in his video. But he avoids it. But for me, Ant-Man, the third one, is trash. It fell the fuck apart. Haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yet. I didn't want it to be trash. Hopefully it won't be. The Marvels, trash. Deadpool and Wolverine, trash. Captain America Brave New World, from what I've seen, gonna be trash. Thunderbolts, more than likely, will be trash. We will see. And that is a big flop to me.
So Captain America, that's gonna be interesting. I wonder what the movie's gonna do. I think the movie's gonna make money. I think the film's gonna be in the $500-600 million range. Now, I could be wrong about that, but hey, that's what a prediction is. Could be wrong, could be right. I don't know about Thunderbolts. I have slightly lower expectations for that film. I think in the $400-500 million.
That's a failure.
Dollar range. But yeah, so there you go. Made money. Now, let's go to phase 4, which is the one that every...
Crack cocaine makes money. That doesn't mean it's good for you. It's fucking stupid ass logic.
everybody hates for whatever reason. Phase 4, Black Widow, was released during the pandemic, doesn't count. Shang-Chi.
It doesn't count. It's trash. Shang-Chi. I won't call it trash. Definitely not their best effort. Eternals, trash. Spider-Man No Way Home, okay. I liked it. There's still a lot that made Spider-Man look like a dumbass in it. Then you got Doctor Strange. Shit, it's trash. Thor, Love and Thunder, it's trash. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, it's trash. I gave them 2, even though I haven't seen Shang-Chi in a while. But I gave them 2 of those, and that's still 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of 7 films, 5 look to be trash. But he's just gonna say they made money, right? Because that's the arbiter of success for him.
He released during the pandemic, doesn't count, but I think it still kind of made like the most money for the pandemic. Let's just double check that real fast. All right, here we go. And was the first film of the pandemic era to surpass 200 million in the United States. Let's look at the box office for that. Box office for Eternals. Or actually, I don't even have to scroll down here. I just go right here. So, budget 236. They made just about double their budget. You know, what these grifters and parrots like to do is go, what about marketing? Well, there are no actual figures on marketing, so you can't.
Exactly. If there are no official figures on it, then you have no idea whether that film made money or not. So what are you even saying? You're wasting your own time, and this is the only thing that you have for your entire argument is to try to say if they made $2 more than they spent in the budget, it was a successful film. You're just deluded.
You can't include that. You just have to go by what you can actually see. There's no evidence is the point. So we made just about double, so not much. Spider-Man No Way Home, obviously this is, again, this is phase 4. That made, what, $2 billion, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, 1.9 billion. There you go. Obvious non-flop. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. For some reason, this movie has had the most revisionist history I've ever seen. This film was loved when it first came out. For some reason, like on Twitter, people are going, oh, this movie fucking sucks. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, okay? Right there, $1 billion, just under a billion. It's right here, $955 million. Not a flop, obviously. Thor, Love and Thunder, the most, just under a billion. It's right here.
Why does the budget have a gross and a net? Is that to say they admitted to only making $350 million after everything? I don't know. Who knows?
Here, $955 million, not a flop, obviously. Thor, Love and Thunder, the most hated Marvel film probably ever. Guess how much money that made, guys? $700 million on a $250 million budget, so obviously.
And as I said before, people are going to see these things before they know what it is. So you can't really use the amount of money that it makes in the box office to say that it's a good film. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Or to say that it was successful. If it's hated, it failed at its job, did it not? Fucking.
Not flop. This is, again, phase 4. And then Black Panther, we already saw what that made.
I'm getting back on track with Factor. Fresh, never frozen meals. This is just so much time.
What are you talking about? What movies flopped besides the Marvels? And let's look at what a flop means for Marvel. So like when you look at the Marvels, look at this. The budget was more than the box office. Now, I've already explained what happened with this film, so I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, okay, flop. There you go. It made less money than it cost to make. That's what a flop looks like. No other Marvel film fits that mold. Not a one. What are you talking about, other guy?
The many. How many years has Marvel been bombing?
Well, that's the trajectory that they're on. If their most recent film is their worst one yet, doesn't bode well for the rest of it, now does it?
How many years has Marvel been bombing? One. Not even a year. I mean, just one movie.
Not if you care about storytelling. Not if you care about having good stories. If that's the case, they've been bombing since Endgame. But you're just an actor. You just read scripts. So I guess you wouldn't know anything about writing anyway. I guess that's me expecting too much on that.
I just showed the evidence. Like, I'm not gonna go into it. Let's skip past this because they just don't know what they're talking about. Because that implies wokeness is what makes movies fail. And I just gave you movies with so-called woke themes that were massive success.
How are they woke themes?
How is Barbie a woke? Okay.
How is Barbie woke? I think we can end the video here.
It's a movie about a toy doll. And they make Ken look like a piece of shit, so that's just typical. I don't understand.
Yeah, because I can't take any more of this shit. There's a reason why, these guys are where they are. They're not good at this. They don't know what they're talking about. They hate facts and evidence. They love their little bubble that they live in where everything woke fails, and they don't even know what woke is. But, so that was the Smutcast 818, where they look at my video. They have another one where they look at I think the Critical Drinker video, and
you need to get that gyno taken care of, my man. I'm sure in LA they got some plastic surgeons that can cut it right out of your titty. Well, shit. It's been real, y'all. I appreciate you having the patience to fucking deal with this. Every time people come out like this and make all the black people look bad with their fucking illogical. I just feel like, hey, somebody's got to fucking say something because this is ridiculous. But I just find it fun because, again, he can't go. It took me 4 hours to get through this because he doesn't let anybody's argument play out. His ego can't take hearing anything that disagrees with his point of view. It's some sad shit to see, but it's fun to deal with, I guess. Make a little content off of. But I appreciate you coming through. At the end of the day, there's a reason why this guy hasn't gone any further in life, and why he's holding on to the audience that he has right now. Where the hell are the comments at? Here we go. But you would imagine the sycophants and the Hitler Youth in his comments here. They don't even realize that's exactly what they are. They don't have any principles. They just fucking bend the knee to whatever the fuck the government says. It's what people like this do. Unfortunately. Making us all look bad. But until next time, y'all stay free, stay safe, stay on. Hope you and the people are never harmed. We about this bitch.